Again, we're at Arnold's Way, and we're here with Arnold, and we have some questions for Arnold.
I got the best job in the world. I have all these young girls, all these women coming here, and my job is just give them hugs.
Well, that's a great thing.
That's my job, right?
He does a good job.
I does a good job, guys.
So Arnold does a great job in helping other people heal illnesses, but I have a question for Arnold. Arnold, what have you healed yourself? What got you into this movement?
I divide two factors.
Two factors.
Number one, I was 45 years old. I didn't think I would live at 46.
When you were 45, you didn't think you would live?
No. I was in the hospital. Actually, before I went to the hospital, I had chest pains for like 2 or 3 months. I mean, it was really stabbing chest pains. I mean, it was like life and death chest pains. But I didn't want to go to the hospital. I knew I didn't want to go to the hospital. Then one day it got so bad, I was taking my daughter to school, and I was at the crossroads. Straight ahead was the hospital. No, straight to the left was the hospital. Straight ahead was my daughter's school. I told my daughter, I said, listen, I got a problem here. I don't think I can take it to school because I'm going to die in 15 minutes.
That's not good.
That's not good. And I said to my daughter, I said, I got to make a left-hand turn. I think I'm going to die. So I went to the hospital. I admitted myself in the hospital. I said I had really stabbing chest pains. And I was there for, I guess, 3 days or something like that. They weren't quite sure what's going on, but I had really bad chest pains.
Wow.
Then 1 month later, the chest pains never went away. I thought you told me how to hold things.
Again, it's his self-diagnosis trends he does.
That's
here.
actually really good, to tell you the truth.
Apparently, this
really
means
good.
that I'm content with myself.
That's right, it does, it does. I really...
Because paying attention to your body signs is a great indicator.
And by the
of how
way,
you feel
I love
yourself.
Marisa so much. I think she's the best. Anyway, I go off to target easy. I have ADD big time.
Okay, so 45, you went to the hospital
Second
instead of
time in a
taking your
row.
daughter
Second time in a
to
row.
school.
And I went 1 month later. I went to the doctors.
Okay.
The doctors did an EKG on me. He said, "Listen, Arnold, you gotta go to the hospital right now. You're in bad shape."
So you took yourself to the hospital twice.
Twice in
a
1
month
month.
apart.
And then in the hospital, I was in a nightgown, and all of a sudden I realized I shouldn't be here. I said to my wife, I said, listen, get me out of here, I don't belong here. And I left. I said, I will never go back to the hospital again, because I saw these guys in white, green jackets, old people. I think
That's scary.
I was 45 years old.
Gotcha.
45 years old, and I think I was 46. I said, if anybody's going to do it, I'm going to heal myself. And that's when I started my journey. So in the hospital, first time, when I had my daughter on one side, my wife on the other side, and they were holding my hand, I said to myself, what am I doing wrong? I knew I was doing something wrong. I didn't know what. But what came to my mind, while in hospital, I remember a book I read like 10 years prior to that. I remember one line in that book. It said, rebound is the best exercise, fit for life. Page
Really?
189.
Wow.
Next
So that was your...
That was my introduction to rebounding.
Your turning point.
It was, because I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die.
Wow.
Didn't want to die. I knew doing something more. I didn't know what, but that was my turning point. And then I began studying. I began studying for like, I'd say at least 6 or 7 years.
So you were in the hospital, and you remembered a line in your book about rebounding, and that
I didn't stop eating meat.
Reminded you
that I should rebound every day.
Researching more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I went to school. I studied.
And you were still a meat eater at the time.
I was still a meat eater at the time.
Okay. And when did you transition? Did you transition into anything else other than
Exercise, and I began eating sardines.
so instead of something, or?
No, I began eating sardines.
So you started rebounding and you started eating sardines.
That's right. That's
okay,
what my
so
infinite wisdom.
2 tips that Arnold recommends.
No, I don't recommend. Not today,
But to your old self.
You know, so I did sardines and rebounding, and I began research. And then I became vegan, I think, when I was 52.
Wow.
So 7 years I studied.
7 years of
7
studying.
years I studied. I studied. I studied. I went
Yeah,
to school.
I'd say I did about 7-10 years of studying.
And then one day,
made a decision to transition.
at the time, I actually started opening a health food store. I didn't correspond to. And one day, I read a book by T.C. Fry, and said, raw fruit and vegetables are the way to go.
So the first raw food educational book that
What-
you read
was by T.C. Fry.
was T.C. Fry.
But the funny thing is, let's backtrack. Well, let's backtrack 50 years.
Okay.
50 years when I was 22 years old. 22 years old, I was walking down the street, minding my own business. I crossed the street, and right in the middle of the street, something stopped.
What's that?
It was that, well, I didn't know what stopped me. But anyway, I was in the middle of the street, and cars were not coming my way, but I was in the middle of the street. And I remember someone said to me, Arnold, you have to be a healer.
Someone told you this?
Yes. There was an angel of light.
Came to you in the middle of the street
In the middle, she says, Arnold, you have to be a great healer.
when you were 22.
When I was 22. I didn't get that though.
Was it physical?
It was an angel of light.
So you saw it.
I did not see it, I heard it.
You heard it.
I heard it,
Did you feel it?
I felt it. I stopped,
you felt
stopped me
it?
in the middle of the
You
street.
felt it and you heard it.
I know it stops in the middle of the street. And then I asked the person on the other side, her name was Debbie Elfmine, did you see that person stop me? She said no. But it was an angel of light. Stopped me in the middle of the street.
Now, yeah, that's interesting that you say that because not many people that have. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Not many people that have like spiritual experiences like that will really talk about it because people will think they're crazies.
Yeah, it was
Personally,
crazy.
I did have experience like that
Did
when I
you?
was around the same age,
Is that at 22?
a couple years ago.
What was that?
Well, I don't want to get. I
Yeah,
don't want to
okay.
talk about my
Okay.
story. That's for a different video.
This was I was 22.
But
So,
okay.
So,
So you're 22. You had this experience,
Same.
and then did it change you? I mean, you were still
no,
eating
no.
meat. You didn't
Did not
feel
change me for 40
for
years.
40 years.
40 years, then I was 62, then it changed, it dawned on me what happened when I was 22.
Oh, you remembered
I remember that.
the experience you
And
had.
then it was, I mean, so many things happened along, so many. Another thing, when I was 45 years old, I think I said I had a heart attack when I was 45. Same time, I had, I was actually had a vending business.
A vending business.
Vending business that I served coffee and snacks. I was in Quakertown, and after Quakertown delivered the coffee, I went to Wendy's for a hamburger and French fries.
When was this?
When I was 45.
When you're 45?
About the same time my heart
Okay.
disease, that's almost the same time. And then what happened was, I reached in to get a newspaper. Normally I get the Inquirer, but the Inquirer was empty.
Okay.
So I got a Daily News instead.
Okay.
As soon as I reached in to get the Daily News, I said I'm going to open a health food store.
Why?
Because there's a picture of David Duke, and David Duke says we're a threat, the Jews are a threat to this country. And I said, not on my watch. And after I saw that, I said, I got to open the health food store. Within 5 months, I had a health food store.
So there was an image on the newspaper when you were 45 years old that reminded you of
That
your
Jew-
epiphany to have a health food.
No, it wasn't my epiphany, it was by design that I was going to stop the Jews from being in trouble. Because I figured if I could change the world, David Duke would not have a problem. My goal was to change the world, and I know what I was a normal, simple thing. I had a wife, I had 4 kids, I had a dog, I had a house, I had a mortgage, I had everything. And then after I reached the newspaper, everything I did up to that point did not matter. I said because I felt that the Jews were a problem, and later I felt that the whole world was a problem, and I had to do something. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, yeah, there were just these life-changing moments.
Life-changing moments.
You listened to them. You didn't
I
ignore them.
didn't ignore them, which means I didn't.
I mean, the first couple you did, but then after a while, you're like, you know what? This is.
I mean,
makes sense to me at this point in time.
even to this day, I go by my epiphanies. I don't worry about money. I go what I believe is right. Money follows fine. Like with her. With her, she didn't know. I mean, she knew me, but she.
In terms of the documentary.
Documentary. I said, let's do a documentary. How many girls would do what she does? None. I mean, she's here religiously.
All right,
Okay.
we are at 9 minutes.
Okay.
So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned
Stay tuned.
for next video.
Okay. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.